Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls on Gift of Healing TV. I'm Sara Jane, and these are going to be some thoughts on learning versus remembering. What does learning mean to you, and what does remembering mean to you? And there is a school of thought that we, as a soul, know everything. So when we come down here to have our physical experience, we are made to forget everything that we know. And for me, there is a learning aspect and there is a remembering aspect to our life. And the way I would put this is, as a child, it is about learning. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some children that are also in remembering mode, because I'm sure that there are. And maybe it's those children that say they have the special invisible friend. Maybe that's those children that sort of come out with amazing pieces of wisdom and you don't know where that comes from. Well, I know I feel like that myself sometimes. I think, where does that come from? Find myself with this amazing gift of something. And for me, that's a remembering. That's a gift from your soul to yourself in this physical form. But as a child on a whole, we are learning. We learn to speak, to walk, we learn to run, we learn to read, to write, and all those things at school. We learn by watching our parents and our siblings and our grandparents, aunts and uncles, teachers, everyone around us, even our sort of classmates. We learn from things that we see and watch, experience, we hear. We learn in many different ways. But a lot of the learning is who we think we are because of other people's guidance of who they think we should be. And as we get older, some of those things may not resonate. Personally, my own insecurities from my own early childhood experiences. And it was very insecure on me. It really was. And actually, when I heard people say, I know who I am, it was just like, well, I haven't got a clue who I am. And when they said they like who they are, it was just like, well, I don't know who I am to know whether I like myself or not. But it was, as we get older, and it was my wake-up call that supported me to be able to let go of those thoughts about myself, those insecurities about myself, which gives me the courage to do what I'm doing today, because I couldn't have done this then. I really couldn't. And then it becomes about the remembering. As we feel we can let go of aspects of ourselves, because as much as people sort of guided us to those things, that was the learning part of our life. And it doesn't stop us from learning, but a lot of then what comes to us is about remembering. Because it goes, for me, it goes into that feeling. How does something feel to you? And that's the remembering. And I remember reading Conversations with God, and at particular parts of the book, getting this right in my sort of solar plexus, getting this absolute feeling, this knowing of how right certain aspects of that book felt to me. And also when I read the Da Vinci Code, I'm not actually a great reader, but I did get through that. It was a brilliant story, and I have a feeling that it was that part in the book where he talked about Mary Magdalene being married to Jesus. And I just felt the truth of that. Now, for those of you that are comfortable with the fact that we've had multiple lives, our past and our future, because time doesn't go like that, it goes like that. But so it's all happening at the same time. But something that came to me quite a number of years ago that I was very much around at the time of Jesus. And I have met right here locally. I don't know if the lady's still here, it doesn't matter. But she was my sister in that lifetime. And so our lives have touched in this life. But she's not my sister in this life. But that becomes about remembering. And that remembering can really support us. So yes, that feeling about Jesus and Mary Magdalene being married came from what I believed. I was there and witnessed in one of my past lives. If you're not comfortable with that, it doesn't matter whether you believe we've had past lives or not. Go with the feeling. And the remembering is more about the feeling. Sometimes it will come as words. I remember working with a client, and I was around their head at the time. And I don't hear things, I don't see things, but I sometimes get words in my head. And it's not a voice, it's just that they are there. It's a really strong sense of knowing. And the words were, I am the love of my life. I knew these were for the client. I knew they were for me. And I know that they for every one of you out there. Anyone out there who is struggling with loving themselves. Feel the energy of how important it is to love yourself, because you are love. And remember that you are important. Everybody else is important. We're all special, every single one of us, in our own unique way. And sometimes those light bulb moments are your soul, for me, are your soul giving you that gift of a remembering. So for me, remembering isn't about doing a quiz or a puzzle or something like that. And, oh, I've remembered the answer. It is the everyday of life, doing your exams. That's not the remembering I'm really talking about. It's remembering who you are, where you come from. And it will, to me, it will come in spurts, as a single sentence, a single word, the lines of a song, even a piece of music. It can come with anything, sort of walking through the woods, walking by a beach, just being on your own, reading a book, sign on a billboard. It can be anything that gives you that nudge, that supports you with a deeper knowing of who you are, and being true to yourself. So all the learning we did as children about who we are, not about the school stuff, not about history and geography and maths and etc., science, etc. That's about the everyday, the mundane for me. Sort of, some people may not consider it that way. But that's about those things to do with story. But it's about being and remembering who you are. And the insecure person that I became isn't the person that I am. And when you can let go, whether it's of insecurity, it probably is actually insecurities, because I would never have had the courage to turn around and do anything like this, work with the sound energy as I do, stand up in rooms in front of people and speak the way I speak and taste us the way I do. Yet I love what I do. And I suppose in that respect, I love for being me. So for me, remembering is about self. And we give ourselves gifts. From our soul to ourselves, to the physical being. We bring gifts to support us with the remembering of who we are, the gifts that we have, the gifts we are here to share. And many of those gifts are our own healing journeys. Feel free, if you wish to share any thoughts. There is now a contact page on the Gift of Healing TV website. So you can put a message in there and that will just come to me. If it is for any of our other guests, past, sort of and present, then just state, because there's that section to state who it's for. I will make sure they get it. But feel free, if there is something that really has touched you, that potentially you require a little bit of support, please feel free. And if you wish to put it under the video on YouTube, if that's where you're watching it, then please do. And thank you for listening. And I hope that, because for me it's brought clarity, the difference. And I hope it has supported you. Next week, we have a today's conversation for you, which is going to be myself, Patricia and David, so our little team. And we're going to be talking about facilitating soul recognition on a global level. This is Patricia's choice. So we'll see what that brings us, because it is going to be mind, body, spirit. But it's about a much bigger picture. Take care, be safe, stay well. Namaste.